Hello everyone and welcome to Werven's World and welcome to my preview of Endless Legend Shifters, the upcoming expansion for Endless Legend. So before I start I have to tell you that this game is still in closed beta, so everything that I'm going to tell you might possibly change. Also the art assets and stuff, nothing is final yet. Anyway, so what exactly is Endless Legend Shifters? Well, it's the upcoming expansion and it adds a couple of new things, mostly built around winter in this game. So as you can see here, this unit here is a Skyfin of the new faction called the Alaji or Alayi, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. And there is also pearls, which also make a very big impact on the game. So let's see what these Alaji are made of. We can look here at the summary. Basically, this is one of their guys, and he is now in dark form. This is the dark form of this faction, and as you can see here, he's in white, and that's their light form. And they can shapeshift, basically. They can change from light to dark, and that has to do with winter. So when it's winter, they are in dark form, and then when it's summer, they are in light form. And that has different effects on each unit. Alright, so let's look at their traits. So they have a Skyfin, which is a super interesting unit, and I will go into detail once we start a game of this. They also have a Garth of the Alaji, which means that it's basically a Burrow Street, like to expand your empire. However, this one you can only build with pearls, and pearls you have to collect throughout the game. These Alaji, they cannot build normal Burrow Streets, so they have to have pearls in order to expand their empire. But expanding their empire is a bit harder because they have We Chosen Few, which means that they need more food in order to grow their empire, and also they gain 150% expansion disapproval, so your people are not happy at all if you make new cities, so that's something to think about. Then they are Mercurial Diplomats, which means that they pay less influence in order to do diplomatic declarations such as peace and war, so they can do that more cheaply. Then we have Battlefield Symbiosis, which means that if you stick your units together so that they get higher morale, they also get higher initiative, which means that they can attack sooner in combat. They start with a shipyard, which is quite nice, so you can immediately travel over water. They also are luxury alchemists, which means that they get more time on their boosters whenever they have more boosters active. So if you have a lot of boosters active, all the boosters will actually last longer that you activate. They are pearl sensitive, and this is quite interesting because throughout the game you have to collect these pearl things, and this faction, the Alaji, actually has an easier time doing that. First of all, they can find pearls anywhere where they have explored, while other factions can only see where they actually have line of sight to, so it's much easier for you to see where they are. But second of all, you can also get them from ruin searches, while other factions can only find them on the ground. You can also just go to ruins and get your pearls. But of course you also really need them in order to expand your empire, so that's quite interesting. Then they have Breath of Auriga, which is also interesting because you can predict 100% accurately when winter will start. You can say exactly on that turn we will have winter, which other races cannot do. Then they got shifting, which means that they are they can adopt a light or dark form. This is normally completely correlated with either summer or winter, but you can unlock some effects that you can kind of choose in which form you want to be, because each form gives you different buffs. One of the forms might be more attacky, another form might be more defensive, for example, but we'll get into detail once we start a game. So let's start a game and see what these guys can do. Alright, for this faction the first quest is actually fairly important to do because you will get a Skyfin from it, as well as some pearls, but really the main focus here is the Skyfin. And the reason it's so awesome is I can show you. I guess we have to go to this one. We can just explore this ruin, and now we got a Skyfin, which is great. And now we need to build an altar, but I'll be going into detail of that later. Now you can see here we found this Skyfin. This unit is quite nice because it actually has a special ability called... what was it called? Here we go, one with Auriga. I thought it was called Aspirate, but it unlocks a new army action called Aspirate, which allows this unit for basically sucking up resources. And it's a solitary unit, so it cannot be mixed with any other units, it's just alone. But basically from the first turn onwards, you have, or second turn onwards, you have a resource extractor for whatever resource you could like. For example, here's some glass steel, so I could send the Skyfin to the glass steel deposit. And as you can see, it immediately starts sucking up the glass steel, and that means that next turn I will have some glass steel. And this is really nice. I really like this idea. You don't even have to do it in your own territory, you can do it wherever. Basically, well, you can just suck up any resource you need, and this can be fairly nice as well with this wealth harvester. Be the first to activate 4 resource boosters in order to gain the reward. Basically, you just have an easier time of getting resources, which is nice. Yes, okay, so that's the Skyfin. You get it at the beginning as a quest, so definitely do that quest because it's awesome. We also got some pearls for it, and pearls is the next thing I want to talk about. Basically, during winter, pearls will spawn and you can pick them up. We already got 2 from our quest, and the nice thing about the Alagi is that they can also get them from searching ruins. Now I didn't, but sometimes within ruins you will find pearls as well. Pearls you can click here, and then you see this new screen, the Altar of Auriga. Before we can use this, we actually need to build the Altar of Auriga, which as you can see here costs you 10 pearls and some production. So first you need to search ruins or wait till winter until you get enough pearls, and then you can build this altar, and then you can start affecting the game quite a bit. But I'll go into more detail of that once we have enough pearls. As you can see here also, we are very good at predicting winter, so we know that winter is coming in exactly 33 turns. So yeah, that's a nice extra little special ability from them. So let's start searching for some ruins and see if I can find enough pearls. So as you can see here, for this ruin I got 30 dust and 2 pearls. So by slowly going through these ruins you can get some pearls, and that's the nice thing about this race, because none of the other races can actually do that. They will not find pearls in ruins, so you definitely have an advantage regarding pearls. Alright, I can also see my hero went level up, and I want to show you the faction tree, which is quite interesting. I like it, and the main reason I like it so much is just because of Pathfinder. Army ignores movement penalties from terrain difficulty. Awesome. I really like having a mobile army so I can explore quickly and fast. And this is, well, it's very nice to have. Then we've got Awe Striker, which basically allows us to bribe more efficiently if you want to get these neutral factions to your side. Bribing can be fairly expensive, but here you can get a 50% discount. Then we've got Zealous Hands, which means that we can build stuff with pearls for more cheap. So we get a reduction in pearl cost. Then we've got Improved Auriga Affinity, which means that we get more pearls whenever we would get some pearls, and our hero gets more experience whenever he is collecting pearls. So as you can see, this whole faction is really based on pearls, and I haven't really told you what pearls are about yet, but we'll get into it, I promise. Then we've got Coup de Grace, which increases your attack whenever the unit you're attacking is more damaged. And then we've got the Chosen of Auriga, which allows you to retreat basically whenever you want. You lose less health whenever you retreat, so you can really pick and choose your battles. Because normally when you retreat it is really painful. You lose like half your health. So Chosen of Auriga seems quite interesting. So as you can see here at the moment, I am bringing my Skyfin towards these emeralds here because I want to have some booster for happiness, because these guys they have a lot of problems with expansion disapproval. So to do that, I'm just sending it there. And the nice thing about this unit is that it is one with Auriga. First of all, it means that it can aspirate, but second of all, it prevents the army from being attacked by roaming armies. So they cannot be attacked by these neutral armies, which is really nice. So I can just send them here to this place, which is fairly safe because it's on the top of the map, surrounded by mountains, and he can just aspirate emeralds. As you can see, in the meantime, we got 7 glass steel, so we can use that for something if we'd like to. But yeah, that's really nice about the Skyfin. It's so extremely versatile and fairly safe as well. I really enjoy this unit. So as you can see, I just got 10 pearls, and now I have the choice. I can make a Garth of the Alagi, which is basically just like a burrow, or I can make an Altar of Auriga, which allows me to do more interactive stuff with the pearls. I will go for this one first, the Garth of the Alagi, because it's still 16 turns off before it's winter, so I still have some time. So this thing just kind of counts like a burrow street, so that's all like it normally works. So I'm just going to put that here, and then within 5 turns I'll have, or probably a bit more, within 7 turns I'll have the Garth. Alright, it finally became winter, and as you can see, my hero is suddenly black instead of white, and here something extra comes into play. Basically, these shifters, the Alagi, they shift from light to dark form whenever it is winter, or the dark season now they can call it. So if we look here at our units, you can see here, for example, our basic unit, the Seeker. They have shifter nature, which is basically because it's a shifter unit. That means that in light form, that means in summer, they get more defense and more health regen in friendly territory. But in dark form, they get extra attack, they don't get the winter movement reduction, they don't get the vision reduction, they get more vision range, more movement, and more battle movement. So actually, he's now faster, which is quite nice. If we go to our Skyfin, then we can see that this guy also changes. If he would be in battle, then normally in summer he would give more morale to friendly targets, but in dark form he actually gives negative morale to your opponents. So that's quite interesting as well. Then we've got our hero, and he has Shifting Nova, which normally in summer he kind of puts regeneration on adjacent units, which is quite nice. So basically every turn that units are next to him, they get regenerated a little bit. But in dark form, when he stands to enemy units, they will actually get damage. So all the shifter units have this shifter nature, that they don't have the negative effects of winter and they become a bit more attacky instead of defendy, but each unit has its own winter effects, basically, that makes it, for example, like this guy, he doesn't give regeneration, but he gives kind of like a poison effect or degeneration effect. So that is one effect of winter. However, now we also have another effect, and you can see that when we zoom out. As you can see here, there's all these white dots, and that's places where there are pearls, as you can see here. The nice thing about these shifters is that they can see all the pearls that on areas that we have explored. However, if you are a non-shifter faction, non-Alagi faction, then you can only see pearls in areas that you have line of sight to. So for these guys, it's way easier to find pearls than it is for other races. So you can actually just move towards these pearls. I like this as well. Their boat is like a fish with a sail on it. So I need to get some pearls now to make that altar, so then I can go into details of that mechanic. But basically, as you see here, I can just go there, and now I picked up 5 pearls, it says. So now I have 11 pearls. That means that now I can build myself the altar, which also kind of counts as a burrow street. So basically I can put it anywhere and get benefits from it. I am going to put it here. So now we will build that in about 5 turns. We can make that a bit less. There. Alright, I'll be back once that is finished and we can go into the details of the altar. Alright, now we can finally look at what the altar does. So let's click here on our pearls. Basically, there's 2 screens. At the moment, the next winter will bring with it the normal stuff, like 50% movement penalty, less production, less food, less dust, less vision, and so on. That's just a normal winter. However, with pearls, and if you have an altar, you can pray for additional effects to hinder everyone. For example, here for the upcoming winter, we can either pray for 25% less dust on cities, so everybody will make less money, or less health regeneration on Empire. We can do that by praying for that. So basically, the one that gets the most prayers once winter starts, that effect is added to the winter. So we could click, if let's say we want everybody to have minus 10% health regeneration, then we can just click on it, we can click pray, and as you can see here at the moment it has 5 prayers, and now it has 6 prayers. So at the moment this degeneration buff is winning. So these are not always the same. I think they're probably randomized. I'm not entirely sure the mechanic behind it. But basically, yeah, so you can vote on what to do, what happens next winter. Of course, if you have a ton of pearls, you can really influence these votes very much, which is kind of interesting. Another thing is the Altar of Auriga allows you to get some extra things. It's basically like another research tree. The inner circle is for the first winter, this is for the second winter, and this is for the third winter when it gets unlocked. And it has some quite interesting things. For example, here there's pearl hoarding. This allows you to make stockpiles for either production, food, or wisdom for science by using pearls. So if you collect a lot of pearls, you can just make a lot of stockpiles and give them to a new city and basically up the production of this city really fast, which is quite interesting. There is also pearl crafting, which allows you to make accessories made out of pearls, and you can make armor out of pearls, which are very interesting armors and accessories that have different effects than normal, for example, glass, steel, or titanium effects. And as far as I remember, they do a lot of stuff during winter, so they have additional winter effects, which is quite interesting. For example, here for the Alagi as well, they have shapeshifters. So for spending pearls, you can change your form for the current turn. So let's say you need a lot of attack instead of defense, but it's summer, then you can just spend a couple of pearls and you turn into your dark form for that turn, and then you can attack. So there are a lot of effects that you can unlock. I also really enjoy this one, which basically allows your towers to retaliate whenever you're being attacked. So for every point of fortification you have in its vision range, if they siege you, you actually retaliate a little bit, which is interesting. So you can build that tower with pearls. So I could unlock this blessing, so you can just click on them, and then it says here it costs you 10 pearls to unlock. So let's say I want to be able to make these stockpiles, then I just click on it and I say unlock this blessing, and now in my cities I can make pearls of plenty, pearls of production, and pearls of wisdom, as long as I have plenty of pearls. So as you can see here, the pearls are still there even after winter, so I can just pick them up again. The nice thing is, or the nice thing, I'm not sure if it's very nice, but they're pretty much random, these pearls. So if you walk over them to collect them, sometimes they give you 1 pearl, and I've also had that they gave me 9 pearls. So the variation is quite high. I'm not sure if they're going to tune that. I'm not sure how much of an effect it will have in a multiplayer game. I don't play multiplayer myself, so I'm not sure if that randomization is any big problem or not. But yeah, basically you can just, let's see how much I'll get for these. So it's set here. Now I got +2. The previous time I got +9. So maybe, well, that can probably have quite a big effect. Anyway, that was my kind of preview of the shifter. So it brings in a whole lot of new mechanics. It basically adds a new faction that I think is extremely interesting. It has different abilities depending on whether it's summer and winter, and it can also affect winters quite harshly because it has easier access to pearls than any other race. Furthermore, we've got the Altar of Auriga, which allows us to pray for more harsh winters, basically. I haven't seen any positive effects there, but in the preview I read that it could also give you buffs, so I'm not entirely sure what's true or not, whether you can actually also get pluses on here or not. But at the moment I've only seen like bad effects. And then you can also pray for cool stuff that you can then unlock. So yeah, this expansion definitely adds a lot of really interesting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to the release of this in order to play it in its full-fledged form. So I hope you found this preview fun, I hope you found it useful, and see you next time.